This film beautifully depicts the bond between a teacher and a student, showing how their relationship develops and the extent of their connection. Let's begin. Lila, a 38-year-old teacher, has recently gone through a divorce. While traveling by train, we see Smith sitting alone in his room, appearing anxious and lost in thought. Meanwhile, Lila arrives at her new school, where the principal welcomes her and introduces her to the staff. She is also given information about the class she will be teaching. Coincidentally, Smith is one of her students. However, their first impression of each other is unremarkable. Smith is quiet and withdrawn, barely speaking. After school, we see Smith's family, who are overly protective of him. His older brother is in prison for smuggling, and his parents worry that Smith might follow the same path. Hoping to improve his academic performance, they frequently transfer him to different schools, but no real progress is made. Frustrated, Smith eventually runs away and begins engaging in the same illegal activities as his brother, selling drugs and making deliveries for money. However, he is not doing this for personal gain. His true goal is to provide a good education for his younger sister, as his parents cannot afford it. The next day, Lila does not pay much attention to Smith either. After class, the school's social studies teacher introduces himself and invites her to lunch, which she accepts. Meanwhile, Smith and his friends talk about their new teacher. That night, Lila feels lonely and calls her mother for comfort. Her brother also joins the conversation to keep her company. Meanwhile, Smith returns home late, and his mother warns him to avoid bad influences and make better choices. Frustrated, Smith storms off to his room. The following day, after class, Smith approaches Lila for help with an essay. She asks about the topic, but he says it is personal and that he cannot share it. Wanting to build a connection with her students, Lila tells him he can ask her anything instead. However, Smith remains silent and leaves the classroom. Curious, Lila follows him, concerned that he might be upset. However, another teacher, Cheyenne, stops her and advises her not to waste time on students like Smith, claiming they have no future. Lila, however, believes she can positively influence all her students and maintain a supportive relationship with them. Determined to understand her students better, she reviews their personal records. She learns that Smith is a new student who was expelled from his previous school due to frequent fights. Later, during a poetry session, students take turns reading their work. When it is Smith's turn, his poem captivates Lila. She finds herself deeply moved, though she cannot fully understand the emotions it stirs within her. After submitting his assignment, Smith prepares to leave, but Lila stops him to praise his poem. She gently advises him to share his emotions with someone, as it might help him feel better. However, Smith is not someone who easily opens up. That evening, Lila returns home and finds divorce papers sent by her ex-husband. He has already signed them, but she simply sets them aside. A few days later, Andrew, a salsa coach, invites Lila to dinner. Since she does not have many people in her life at the moment, she agrees. At school, we see the first signs of a casual bond forming between Lila and Smith. He shares a few things with her before heading home. That night,